Namaste and welcome to Yin and Restorative Yoga. Grab the following props if you have them, or if you have something that can substitute: 2 blocks, a strap, a blanket, and a bolster. We're going to have an all-around practice physically as we continue to focus this week on the third eye energy center, or Ajna Chakra. Let's begin in a posture in which you can start to open the thighs or turn them out at the hips. So you may like to sit up on any of your props, especially if you've got any tightness in the hip flexors, so that you can easily drop the knees apart. And then play with how close or far apart it's most comfortable for you to cross the shins. Allow your spine to lengthen upright. Take a moment to scan your environment and take in through your different senses, not only your eyes. What appeals to your senses? What gives you a sense of peace and calm? Smells, colors, textures. Just a way to mentally arrive in your yoga practice, as well as invite your nervous system to relax. As we continue to explore the qualities of the sixth main chakra, remember that there are a lot more than 7, right? These energy centers are all throughout the body. And for those of you that might be unfamiliar with talking about the chakra system, it's your energy body. We have the physical body, the mental, emotional body. We also have an energetic body. Though many people can't see energy, we can definitely feel if our energy is depleted or our energy is in excess and we need to channel it somewhere. So knowing more about the qualities of each of the main 7 chakras can help us to regulate our energy in a more informed way. So the 6th energy center, I have a few questions that can help you just kind of gauge, how is your energy flowing here? Generally, it's located towards the center of the brain, often called the third eye center or the brow center or the intuitive center, because it has a lot to do with your intuition. So here are 7 questions that you might consider. Do you notice subtle visual details in your surroundings? Do you have vivid dreams and remember them? Do you have psychic experiences like intuitive accuracy, synchronicities, seeing auras, which is basically the chakras, the energy of them expanding beyond your physical skin, sensing future events, etc.? Are you able to imagine new possibilities as solutions to problems? Are you able to see the mythic themes or bigger picture of your life? How would you rate your ability to visualize? And lastly, do you have a personal vision that guides you in life? So the more that you've answered yes or very much so to these questions, possibly you have a strong energy at your brow center. And then vice versa with the other side of the spectrum. But that can change, right? Learning how to work with your energy. Our energy fluctuates throughout the day, each day, in different stages of our lives. So we work towards balance. So the qualities of Ajna Chakra are also light. That's the element of the earth connected to that chakra, intuition and seeing or perception. Let's start our physical yoga. I'll talk a little more about the chakra as we enter the postures. So as you're sitting still, you might close the eyes. You might even rest a hand on the center of your chest and another hand just below your belly button, to just help you bring more focus to your physical body. Become aware of what sensation in your body is calling your attention the most right now. Letting go of any need to label that as either good or bad. So we're not confining our perspective. From there, let your attention scan throughout your body. What else do you notice? How does your physical body feel right now? Notice the way the breath is flowing in and out of your body. Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it moving smoothly or is it choppy? Cultivate a caring curiosity. Again, without judging it. The breath can tell you a lot about your overall energy. Now notice the state of your mind. How are you feeling mentally and emotionally? Do you feel present in your body, sitting here right now in the space you're in? Is your attention attached to a thought, something that happened in the past, or something you're planning in your head about the future? Are there any emotions you're carrying? Now let's start to slow the breath down, breathing in through the nose and exhaling slowly through the mouth. Each breath in slightly deeper, allowing a few more out breaths through the mouth. Notice where you can feel your breath expand in your body. Is it mainly in the chest? Is it mainly in your belly? Can you invite that expansion into other parts like your back ribs, your pelvic floor? By practicing gratitude, we help to open our minds and our hearts. You might join your hands in prayer at the heart center as you acknowledge a few things that you appreciate in this moment. Gratitude as well to those who've come before us and have paved the path for all that we get to benefit from today. The seeds they planted, the food we now eat, the practices such as yoga that we continue to benefit from. Now clarify to yourself what you are choosing to focus your energy on and cultivate through this practice. I invite you to mentally say your intention in the present tense. Imagine and feel it already happening now. Let it affect the way you're breathing, the way you're posturing your body. Remember that our practice is not only for our benefit, but to serve the whole, the life around us. With that in mind, I invite you to choose somebody to dedicate your practice to today, extending them loving kindness. Together, let's join our voices in support of each other, creating resonance as we chant the sound of interconnection, which is also the sound, the bija mantra or seed sound of the 6th chakra. Aum. Remember to honor the silence after each. So let in a deep breath. Gently blink the eyes open. Grab a block and let's make our way onto child's pose, balasana. You may or may not find the block useful. Let's start with it. So bring your feet together to touch and have your knees together or apart, whatever's comfortable for you. Sink your hips all the way back to your heels and lengthen your torso forward, bowing your forehead to the ground or onto the block. So just so you want to have contact with the surface below and the area of the 6th chakra. And take a moment here, you might massage out that region of the forehead, shaking the head slowly, nodding the head slowly. I invite you to start to cultivate Ujjayi breath, victorious breathing here. So closing the lips if you can, breathing through the nose. Gently constrict the back of your throat and establish a very soft and smooth whispering sound as you breathe in fully. And as you breathe out, just as slowly. Listen to a few cycles of that breathing here as you're in stillness. We're going to move to that pace of breath as we warm up the body in just a moment. So create a steady rhythm that you can listen to as a way to give your mind something to focus on that's only happening in the present moment. An anchor for your mind. Anytime your attention goes astray, find that anchor. Come back to the gentle rhythm in the breath. Couple more deep breaths here. In balasana. If you have a block under your forehead, go ahead and put that block aside and make your way into tabletop, hands and knees, where you spread your fingers flat at the front of your mat and stack your shoulders on top of your wrists. Make sure your index fingers are either pointing straight ahead or slightly turned out. Step your knees a couple of inches behind your hips, parallel your shins with your feet hips distance apart. Let's begin to move to the breath in cat-cow pose, Betalasana. Breathing in, glide your chest forward, roll your shoulders back and down and gaze up, cow pose. Breathing out, lift the belly towards the spine, drop your head slowly and round your back, cat pose. Again, inhale, extend your chest forward, peel the shoulders behind you and gaze up. Exhale, lift the belly in, slowly tilting your tailbone and crown down. Keep going for another 3 to 5 slow cycles of breath. Feel that you are synchronizing each part of the movement to each part of the breath. Try not to move ahead of the breath. Let the breath lead. Either stay in tabletop or at the end of the next exhalation, lift your hips to downward facing dog. Remember, you can also practice downward dog with your knees on the ground and your arms straightened forward with a flat back. Take a moment in your version of downward dog to add some movement that your body is asking for to loosen up. Like if you feel stiffness in the neck, find different ways to gently move your head. Still connecting to the sound of your breathing. Let the movements be organic when you're really trusting your body and your connection to your body. So often we can be caught up in our heads, planning things, reliving the past. By practicing really being in the sensations and aliveness of our bodies, we can get out of the head and embody the wisdom that lives in us. This is part of that sixth energy center. All right, whether you're in tabletop or downward dog, breathe in and sweep your right leg behind you. As you exhale, gently step your right foot forward beside your right thumb. Lower your left knee with your legs hips width apart into a kneeling lunge. Now with your hands framing your right ankle, notice if it might be helpful to place your fingertips on blocks, whatever height you may need, so that your shoulders can relax and you can breathe well. Let's start to flow. Tuck the back toes, keep the back knee down. As you breathe in, tilt your chin towards the sky. As you breathe out, keep your feet where they are and let's enter a wide pyramid pose by lifting the back knee, drawing your right outer hip back. To whatever degree you can straighten the legs, fold forward as if you have a flat back. Inhale again, lower the back knee, tilt your chin up. Exhale again, lift the back knee, wide pyramid pose. Find a little lift in your chest as you bow. 3 more, inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, kneeling lunge. And exhale, pyramid pose. Come back to tabletop or downward facing dog. Spread the fingers flat. Draw the shoulders back away from the neck. And pause for 2 slow breaths. Let the body be still as you scan your attention throughout it. What do you notice right now? On your next inhale, sweep your left leg behind you. As you exhale, gently step the foot forward beside your left thumb and lower your right knee. Keep your back toes tucked and see if it's helpful to place your hands on blocks. Make sure your legs are as wide apart as your hips. As you breathe in, tilt your chin up. Keep your feet where they are. As you exhale, lift the right knee. Draw your left outer hip back. To whatever degree you can straighten both legs. Bow as if you have a flat back. Inhale again, kneeling lunge, tilting the chin up. Exhale again, wide pyramid pose. Keep the throat open, chest lifted. 3 more, inhale, kneeling lunge. Flowing to your breath. Exhale, wide pyramid. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, wide pyramid. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, wide pyramid. And then make your way onto your back. Lying down on your back, bend your knees into your chest. Make sure your shoulders and head are resting down. If you need, use one of your props as a pillow. Take hold of your bent knees with your hands, and now let's rotate the thighs to the sound, the pace of your breathing. Circling the thighs apart at the hips and rotating them together. Explore different directions of rotating each thigh bone in the hip socket as you explore the range of motion at each hip. Take your time to slowly move to the breath. There's no rush here. Let the slowness of your movements help you to be more aware of subtleties. Pay attention to the energy you feel in the area of your pelvis. Is it feeling really open and loose? Is energy flowing freely there? Does it feel stuck, constricted? Is there gripping? And this includes in your lower back, which is connected to the pelvis. What's the energy you've been carrying in that region of your body? Several more cycles of breath. Switch it up. Large circles, small circles, figure eights. Let's continue with some more movements at the hips. So keep the knees bent. Set your 2 feet on the ground, wider apart than your hips distance, maybe about mat width apart. And let the arms be out of the way. You might make a cactus shape of the arms on the ground. Keep the feet where they are and start to drop your knees to the right as you breathe in and to the left as you breathe out. Windshield wiping the legs for several cycles of breath. Do you notice if your knees drop more easily in one direction on one leg than the other? This is not to judge anything as good or bad, but it's just to notice. Become curious, observe. Couple more deep breaths. So we did have a few requests from our live community today to help open the lower back, release tension from it, as well as stretch all throughout the legs. So we're already integrating those things. All right, I think I went over time, so let's bring the knees back to center and separate the feet your hips width apart. From the right hip socket, rotate the right thigh externally, which means turn it out. And as you flex your right foot, curling the toes towards the right shin, cross the right ankle, just beneath the left knee onto your thigh, a figure 4 shape. Now keep your left foot on the ground, and with your right hand close to your right hip crease, gently press away your inner right thigh to help splay open the right thigh at the hip. At the same time, root down through the back of your left hip so you don't fall over. Breathe here. What do you notice? Going to be asking that question quite a bit. Notice if your hips are asking you to stay right here in this version of this hip opening pose, or maybe your body would like you to explore threading the needle on which you thread the right hand between your thighs and with both hands catch hold of your left thigh or shin. Keeping the shoulders and head grounded, slowly bring the left leg towards you. Continue to splay the right thigh open and keep flexing your right foot to stabilize your right knee. Feel the breath in, allowing space. Feel the breath out, allowing release. Let's tune into 2 last deep breaths here, whatever version of this pose you're in. Now keep your right leg on top and slide it further around the left leg like eagle pose. Slide your pelvis towards the right edge of your mat, maybe about 3 to 5 more inches, and open your right arm wide on the ground. Looking over the right shoulder, keep that shoulder rooted to the floor and lift your feet. Slowly drop your knees towards your left side, only as far as the right shoulder can stay on the ground. You can also catch your outer left leg with any of your props. Then place your left hand on your right outer hip. Let in a deep breath. Visualize breathing up your spine from the tailbone to the crown. And as you exhale, press your right outer hip forward, gently tilting it towards your feet or the front edge of your mat. Try that for maybe 5 or more deep breaths. Breathing up the spine, exhaling as you send the right outer hip forward. Tune in to one more clearing exhale here. Then gently roll onto your back and uncross your legs. Step your feet on the ground, hips width apart, and recenter your pelvis on the mat. Turn out your left thigh at the hip, flex your left foot and cross the ankle on top of your right thigh. Figure 4 shape. Now keep the right foot on the floor. Make sure your head and shoulders are grounded. Place your left palm close to your left hip onto your inner left thigh and gently press the thigh away while grounding the back of your right hip. Breathe here and observe. Notice anything the left side of your hips has to say. Ask it if it wants you to stay in this version of the hip opener or to come in to thread the needle. If the latter, thread the left hand between your thighs and with both hands catch hold of your right thigh or shin and begin to bring the right leg closer as you continue to splay your left thigh open and flex your left foot. Feel the depth of your breath. Can you really take your time with it, both in and out? Notice how it feels to intentionally slow your breath down even more. So much of our culture here in LA is to get somewhere, to go faster, get that instant gratification. This is kind of counterculture to really take our time and be in stillness and be present while we're at it. Yet, these are tools for helping to open up our intuitive energy center, really finding that calmness in our nervous system where we can relax into our inner knowing. Moving slowly, keep your left leg on top and wrap it over the right leg like eagle pose. Slide your pelvis towards the left edge of your mat and open your left arm wide on the floor. Keeping the left shoulder grounded, gaze past it. Lift your feet and begin to drop your knees towards your right side into a twist. Remember, you can catch your outer right leg with any of your props, making sure the left shoulder stays on the ground. Has your breathing changed? You might visualize, which is another technique to bring more energy into the third eye center. You might visualize inhaling from the bottom of your spine through each vertebra all the way to the top of your head. With your right hand on your left outer hip, exhale as you press away the left outer hip so it tilts gently towards the front edge of your mat. Try that for several more breaths. Sense the bottom of the next exhalation. Before you unwind back to center. Stepping your feet on the ground as you bring the pelvis to the midline of your mat. Keep your knees bent and bring them towards your outer armpits. Lift the soles of your feet towards the sky, entering either happy baby pose where you catch your outer shins or feet. Ground your tailbone, head and shoulders here, or maybe clasp the big toes and straddle the legs. You could do one leg straightening at a time or both. Again, keep rooting the tailbone towards the floor, or you could rest your arms on your inner thighs. Few more deep breaths here. What would it feel like to breathe into your pelvis, into your hips? And with the exhalations, relax all that lives in your pelvis, from the organs, every cell, the emotions. Feel the very emptiness of the next exhalation. After, bring your hands to your outer thighs, bend your knees and draw them together. Rock a little in any direction, finding a way up to sit. So let's get into the fronts of the thighs and hips a bit and open up the chest. Maybe give the space between the shoulder blades a bit of a massage. To set up, many options here. If you've got quite a bit of tightness in your quadriceps, this is a huge muscle, or your hip flexors, grab a lot of props. We'll start with that. So if that's the case, you may like to have tallest height block furthest away from you at the rear of the mat. Medium height block across the mat or tracing the midline of it. Place a pillow on top so it slants downward towards your pelvis. Place a blanket or a second pillow on top. Get as many as you need. You can always shed the layers of props, but it's harder to add them on when you're already resting in the pose. Now, bring your knees in front, and if it's not comfortable to bend your knees this deeply where you're sitting on your calves, grab another pillow or a folded blanket and make it as thick of a support as you need. So the thicker it is, the less you will have to bend your knees. And place that right up against the back of your knees. And then sit back. You might want something for your sitting bones too, like another block if you have one. Get creative. Now, if you can sit on your calves, you might see if it's available to gently roll the calves aside and sit on the floor between your ankles while your knees stay on the ground, no wider than hips width apart. And your toes are pointing directly behind you. They're not turning out or in. Whatever version you have in the lower body now, have your back of your pelvis pretty much right up against the bolster behind you, and begin, as you're conscious of your breathing, to very slowly lean back. Not forcing anything, as this can be a vulnerable posture for the knees. You can add more if you have pillows, or maybe you can lean back a little further with less support. Maybe coming into what we often use for supported fish pose. Now that massage for between the shoulder blades can happen when you have the medium height block tracing the lengthwise of the mat. So it's tracing the midline of the mat. And then you can get those two pokey corners at the bottom of the block to land anywhere you might feel tension or knots right between the shoulder blades. And then back of the head is on the furthest block, and you can tilt the block under your head higher or lower as you need to your comfort. Now, see if you need any more adjustments with the props so that your hands can be free. You don't have to use your arms to hold your body in the pose. Bring the intention of lengthening your tailbone forward towards the space between the knees as you soften the bottom of your front ribs down towards your pubic bone. These are ways to not overarch or compress the lower back. You want to make sure the lower back is safe and comfortable in this pose. Now let's bend the elbows apart like a cactus shape. Cross your right elbow on top of the left elbow. Like eagle pose, hook your thumbs or wrap the forearms and palms. Slide your shoulder blades down your back ribs. Glide your elbows towards the rear of your mat just enough so they align with your shoulders. And press your forearms towards the sky. So you're spreading the shoulder blades apart. This is where you can kind of dig those two corners, the lowest corners of the lower block into any areas. Kind of, you see me wiggling side to side. to help massage into the space between the shoulder blades with the edges of the block. Or you can just be still. Feel into any place in your body that you could breathe into by visualizing expansion there. That area receiving the prana, the vital life force energy through the breath. Exhaling as you relax the surrounding areas of that spot. Continue this for several more breaths. Remember, slow, deep breaths. Take your time. Try to really fill up and completely let go. If you can, glide your elbows towards your rear wall slightly bit more and breathe into the back ribs. As you exhale, re-cactus the arms apart. Cross the opposite elbow on top. Hook the thumbs or wrap the forearms and palms. Glide your shoulder blades down your back ribs. Glide your elbows towards the rear of your mat. And gently press the forearms towards the sky. Maybe you do a little wiggle dance to massage the edges of the block in between the shoulder blades. Or you hold still. Same full inhalations. Long exhalations. Where are you picturing the breath enter? It's like you're massaging yourself inside your body using the breath. One more very long exhale. Lift the elbows towards the rear wall just a little bit if you can. Breathe into the back ribs. Exhale, backstroke the arms and plant your hands on the ground. Allow several breaths to pace you as you begin to lift your torso upright. Eventually sliding both legs straight in front of you into Dandasana, stick pose. You might just softly, circularly rub your knees as you invite space in the backs of the knees here. Maybe circle out the feet, because that could be a deep ankle stretch, what we were just in, which was Supta Virasana, supine hero's pose. All right, let's prepare for a seated forward fold in Paschimottanasana. You might move the flesh aside from your sitting bones to really root down. You might use a strap as an extension of your arms to give yourself more leeway to relax the shoulders and not round the back. Separate your feet hips width apart and flexing your feet, press your big toe mounds forward. Hug your outer hips towards your spine to create traction and support the lower back. And as you press the pelvis downward, breathe in and lift and stretch the spine out of the pelvis. Press the shoulders down, slightly lift your chest. And as you breathe out, just hinge forward from the hips a little bit. Pause there, press the pelvis down. Imagine it, you're stretching the spine longer from the pelvis as you breathe in, shoulders down the back. Keep a little lift in the chest, continue to fold. Try this for about 5 more breaths. For those of you that can reach hold of your big toes with your index and middle fingers without rounding the back, you can revert to that. Pressing down through the pelvis as you breathe and lead with your chest to slowly rise up. All right, let's set up for Shavasana, in which we're going to practice one more pranayama while you're there. So feel free to make use of any of your props so that you can comfortably lay your body down to rest in stillness for several minutes in corpse pose. If you need some lower back support, you can either use your pillow, place the backs of your knees on top of that pillow like this. If you'd like some grounding support to help you relax, you can place a folded blanket and use the weight of it on top of your pelvis and belly like this. As you close your eyes, if you don't have an eye pillow to cover your eyes with, you can use your strap. Just feeling that gentle weight that invites you to tune inward. Do whatever you need so that your body can feel relaxed, symmetrically balanced. Close the eyes. Let the arms be free where you can roll the shoulders back and down and open the heart space. Let the belly be soft. Let your pelvic floor relax, your jaw unclench. All the muscles around and behind the eyes relaxed. Let's practice 3 rounds of box breathing or samavriti together and continue for at least 3 rounds on your own before you let go of controlling the breath. So closing the lips, continue to breathe through the nose, but very softly. We're not trying to create a sound anymore. We'll inhale for a count of 4. Hold the breath as you relax for a count of 4. Exhale a count of 4 and hold the breath and relax a count of 4. That's 1 cycle. So empty this breath to prepare. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Second cycle. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Third cycle. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Third cycle. So continue on your own. At least for 3 more cycles. Inviting your nervous system to relax more deeply through this pranayama. And when you're ready to let go of controlling your breathing, and just sense your body naturally receiving and releasing each breath. Let yourself be fully present in your body as you rest here in Shavasana. Let the eyes remain closed and your body remain still, like we did at the start of this practice. Where is your body calling your attention the most now? Can you bring that caring curiosity there and continue in your mind's eye to explore the landscape of your entire body right now? Observing what feels alive in your body through sensations. Sense the effect of your physical yoga practice. Listen to how your body wants to begin waking up. Follow its lead as you begin to move slowly and gently stretch. Maybe keeping the eyes closed so you're really paying attention from the inside out. Take your time rolling over to your right side, which is a way that we continue to relax the nervous system. Just pausing in a fetal position on your side, noticing your breathing. Does it feel any different? Does your energy feel any different from the start of this practice? Taking your time, root into the earth's support and rise into a comfortable seated position to sit for 5 minutes, deeply listening inward, meditation. Sit in a way that your spine and your whole body can feel alert while feeling grounded and relaxed. You may like to either stack your palms face up on the center of your lap with thumbs touching, or bring the hands in Gyan Mudra to help tune inward. Thumb and index fingers touching, palms face up on the laps. And maybe close the eyes. Rest on the feeling of breath coming in, breath coming out in its natural pace. Meditation is a means of cultivating clear perception by really observing our thoughts and noticing the stories we tell ourselves in our minds, how we are interpreting events. So as you continue to feel the breath, if a thought arises, bring that same caring curiosity to observe the thought. Don't have to push it away. You don't have to get caught up in it. Just observe it like you're lying on the back in the grass outdoors, watching clouds pass by. How does your mind feel right now? How are you feeling emotionally? Notice the effects of your practice. As we bring our practice to a close, you might join your hands in prayer at the heart, a gesture that symbolizes union, gratitude, reverence. I invite you to acknowledge something or someone that you appreciate right now. Then revisit your intention that you set for this practice. How might you continue to see that intention through after this practice? Remember to whom you dedicated your practice today. And together, let's close by joining our voices in the seed sound of Ajna Chakra. Om, 3 times. Let in a deep breath. Bring your thumb tips to touch your brow center region as you bow in towards your heart center, honoring the light, wisdom that lives within. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.